Welcome to today's class, the English language as taught by Martin at ISIFE EDUBLOG. Today we shall be looking at stress. What is stress? As it's on the board, stress is the extra energy used in the pronunciation of a particular syllable in a word or a particular word in a sentence. The extra energy used in the pronunciation of a particular syllable in a word or a particular word in a sentence. So if I say refer, right? Refer. Obviously, the second syllable took a better part of my voice or my sound. Refer, refer. So here is the stressed syllable. Now, stress differentiates one word class from another and also differentiates meaning. This is important. The English language is a stress-timed language. The Igbo language is said to be tonal. Likewise, the Yoruba language. What is the implication? In Igbo, for instance, if you have a, kwe, a, written like this, it will be difficult for somebody to say exactly what is meant, because there are about 5 meanings to this spelling. Now, this could mean egg when it is pronounced aqua. It could mean bed when it is pronounced aqua. It could mean cloud when it is pronounced aqua. It could mean cry when it is pronounced aqua. It could mean bridge when it is pronounced aqua. So that of bridge and that of bed are of the same sound. So about 5 different words with 4 sounds attached to this particular word. It will be difficult for you to be saying aqua and somebody understands that you mean egg. Nobody will understand you to mean egg when you say aqua, because aqua means cry. So you see, the same thing that tone does in Igbo and Yoruba languages is what stress does in English. Stress differentiates one meaning from another and as well differentiates one class of word from another. Let me give you a typical example. The word ri'fʒ has 2 pronunciations. One is the noun form pronounced refuse. refuse with the stress on the second syllable. Refuse. The second is the verb form, pronounced refuse. Refuse with the stress on the second syllable. Now, refuse means garbage. Refuse means reject. So you see, two different meanings, two different word classes. How will it sound if you say, I packed the refuse? That will certainly be strange. But we can say, let's see, refuse to pack the refuse. Refuse to pack the refuse. You see? Looking at the calligraphy, the spelling, we have the same thing. But this one spelling is of different words. These different words are of different classes and they have different meanings. So, again, what will happen? How will we communicate if we say, refuse to pack the refuse? Or, refuse to pack the refuse? In any of these sentences, we won't be communicating sense. And so, the proper thing to do is to stress this one on the second syllable and stress this on the first, and it will read, refuse to pack the refuse. That is a typical example of what stress does. There are three types of stress actually. We have the primary stress, the secondary stress, and the unstressed. Yes, there are syllables that are weak. Remember that whenever we talk about stress, we are looking at the strength of the vowel. We are looking at the strength of the vowel in the syllable. The strength of the vowel in the syllable is what determines stress. So if the vowel is weak, so weak that it cannot be arrogated, either the secondary or the primary stress, it becomes an unstressed syllable. Alright? So, of course, our attention, as is on the board as well, although we focus mainly on the primary stress, we shall explain both secondary stress and the unstressed syllables. Now, the primary stress. Usually, when you write exams, you're told to pick the option that has the correct primary stress written in capital. But you may never have been taught what primary stress is. What you have been taught actually is stress. But you were never taught what primary stress is. You were not taught what secondary stress is. But today, watching this video, you have that privilege of getting to know what is meant by primary stress, how it is different from secondary stress, and all of that. Now, it is the syllable that gets the loudest sound in a bisyllabic word, or the loudest sound in a polysyllabic word. Always note, the English language is a tricky language. Well, I guess like other languages are as well. We mainly talk of the English language which we represent. Now, I used the adjective loud in two different ways. Louder to refer to bisyllabic words of 2 syllables. Then I used loudest to refer to polysyllabic words of 3 or more syllables, because it would be wrong for me to say that the primary stress is the syllable that gets the loudest sound in a word. I will only be covering the polysyllabic word without looking at this bisyllabic words. Okay, let's continue with that, by the way. Now, in the dictionaries, it is indicated by an upward stroke, except for the BBC dictionary. The BBC dictionary underlines the stress syllable, so that makes it a little bit difficult if you're not conversant with the English language, and there are 2. That is, one for the primary stress and one for the secondary stress. You might not know which is which. But in other dictionaries like the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, Longman and all of that, the primary stress is indicated with an upward stroke. Right? So, here we are. Refer. This is our primary stress. Depend. Depend. This is our primary stress. Alright? Mædəm. Mædəm. You see, there is a shift now from the second syllable we started with to the first syllable. Refer, second. Depend, second. Mædəm, first. Solid, first. Alright? Now, in all of this, what makes the syllable stressed? Even if we put a dot here to indicate that this is one syllable and this is another syllable, what makes this syllable a stressed syllable? It is the strength of the vowel R. Alright? The vowel R made it a stressed syllable. Likewise, the vowel R here. So, I know of what is called syllabic consonants. That is L and N. These 2 consonants, however, can never be stressed when it is just a syllable. That is, if we have beautiful, for instance, the U is silent, so we have alright, the F and the L, that is F and L, will never be stressed because there is no vowel in between them. Alright? So stress depends on the vowel. That's what I'm trying to point out. Now, we shall dwell so much on the, of course, the entire topic is on the primary stress. So let's go to the secondary stress. Now, the secondary stress, we said this occurs in polysyllabic words when a syllable that doesn't carry the primary stress is also pronounced loud, though not as loud as the syllable with the primary stress, but there is strength in such a syllable. It is not weak as to be considered unstressed. Now, another thing to use to indicate this is that such a syllable will not carry either this or this, except the strong E, the strong short E, but the weak one will not be there. What I mean is that these two syllables, the schwa sound and the weak E, the schwa sound, which is this one, and the weak E, are used to indicate unstressed syllables. Let's look at what I mean. Here is market. Market. The weak E is used to say that the second syllable is not stressed. Here is mother. The schwa sound is used to indicate that the second syllable is not stressed. Mother. But in the case of the secondary stress, none of this will be used. The sound will be what it is with a downward stroke to say that. Now, look at this place. I have domesticity. Here is the secondary stress. And here is the primary stress. Alright? Domesticity. So these two show unstressed syllables. This syllable is not stressed. This syllable is not stressed. This syllable is not stressed. But this carries the primary stress and this the secondary stress. Cerebellum. Here is our primary stress and here is our secondary stress. Domiciliary. First level, primary stress, secondary stress. Third level, primary stress. So, you can see that this is the short vowel or sound, short vowel or, and air. All of these sounds did not metamorphose into the schwa sound or the weak E. They are retained because they are strong, though not as strong as the primary stress. Next, we shall look at the unstressed. The unstressed syllable is the syllable that is not pronounced loud in a word. Alright? The syllable that is not pronounced loud in a word is the unstressed syllable. Sometimes the unstressed syllable is so rushed by native speakers that one might think it is silent. Alright? Sometimes you listen to a native speaker use English language, or even a fluent person. Of course, I've had a lot of students complaining that, "Uncle, I don't get you, I don't understand you," and all of that. Courtesy of the fact that if the syllable is not that relevant, I rush over it. And so sometimes it could impair understanding because of the listener's listening skill, right? However, we have to speak the English language the right way, much as I advocate that we do things the way others will understand it. Now, there are some controversies with the unstressed syllable, like mentioned earlier. Let me give you some examples. Here is a word, police. Police. A lot of people will tell you that it is please. I don't like that kind of pronunciation in isolation. The word police has a weak O. It is not a silent O. So we pronounce police, especially in isolation. If somebody is talking and on the course of flowing, the word comes out as please, no problem. We understand that on the course of being fluent in speaking, this syllable is rushed. But in isolation like this, let nobody tell you that this word is please, because it is not. The O is not silent. However, it is weak, so we say police. Police. Now, this is machine. Machine. The behavior of this O is the same behavior of the A here. The stress of this word is on the second syllable, police. Just as the stress of machine is on the second syllable. So, this is not silent, this is not silent. Now, junction. Junction. This is on the first syllable. So you could notice that we sounded the first syllable higher than the second. Of course, this, from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, is a cluster of consonants. Right? Junction. There is no vowel here. And this is the second syllable. Alright? I told you of the syllabic consonants before now, L and N. This is a typical example. And so, in junction, our stress is on the first syllable, while the second syllable is not stressed. Then we have capit. Capit. So, here is the stress. Here is the unstressed syllable that we are talking about. Remember, our attention for now is on the unstressed syllable. Here is village. Village has the first syllable stressed, but the second syllable carries the unstressed. Is unstressed actually. So our stress indicator should be here, while this one is unstressed. Now, continuing, we have words of 3 or more syllables on the board. Here is primary. Primary. And so we have 2 unstressed syllables after a stressed syllable. Don't forget, for those of us who study literature, this is one of the ingredients of poetry. Alright? When you begin to talk of meter and all of that, you need to have good knowledge of stress to enable you to write poems like sonnet. If you don't know much about stress, you might never be able to write sonnet because it is a fixed kind of poetry. You must have a given number of stressed and unstressed syllables to do that. The Shakespearean sonnet, for instance, is said to be written in iambic pentameter. Well, not worry. So, in primary, we have the first syllable is stressed, the second and third syllables are unstressed. Then, mathematics has everything. Mathematics has the first syllable is of the secondary stress. That is from here to here. Let's try to divide. This is secondary stress. Then this is unstressed. This is the primary stress, and this is unstressed. So in one word, we have all the stress types. One secondary stress, two unstressed syllables, and of course, the key, which is the primary stress. That is how we introduce you to the world of stress. I promise you it's going to be fun following this lesson. So do follow every bit of my lesson on stress, as they will be coming subsequently as you follow. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share our videos. For you are the reason we are here. Thank you.